All right. What's happening? It is I, your wintry neighborhood Winterspell, welcoming you guys back to another episode of a deck profile. So this is our third iteration of the Quickdraw Dandy Warrior deck list. Hopefully it's going to be fantastic. All right, good. Our sound is working. So this is going to be pretty cool. I have been working a lot on the Quickdraw Dandy Warrior build. Move this forward. Been putting a lot of work into it. A lot of testing, a lot of everything. You've already seen like my dark deck profile, my turbo deck profile. So this is the latest iteration of the Edison Quickdraw Dandy Warrior deck. And I think it's going to be awesome. I've already done work with a modified version of this deck, and I think this is going to work out really great. So starting off, of course, we've got tokens. We're going to need the tokens. I'm running a couple Karibo tokens, a Black Feather counter, and the Gores token. Now, obviously the tokens don't have to be a certain type of token. That's fine. Those are the ones I've just chosen to use, especially since I got Gores in the side deck. But let's take a look at what we've got here. Still running 22 monsters. That number's seeming to work pretty well. You know what? Let's pop on the desk lamp. There we go. All right, so let's take a look at what we got here. Move that up a little bit. So first off, we have a really important tuner. We've got Copyplant. Copyplant is a fantastic card. This came out in Crossroads of Chaos. Honestly, one of the most important tuners you're probably going to find in the deck. I run one of these. So Copyplant is a level 1 tuner. It's a plant tuner. But once per turn, you can select a face-up plant-type monster on your field. Oh, on the field, not just your field. And you can have this card's level become equal to it until the end phase. So you can combo off of a lot of things with that. You already know we run 5, we run 6, we run 7, we run 8. So let's say I've got a level 4 plant on the field. I can immediately make this a level 4 as well. Go for a level 8 right there. So we're swinging out Colossal Fighter, we're swinging out Thought Ruler, swinging out Stardust, swinging out Red Dragon Archfiend. There's a lot we can do with this, and this deck does run a level 4 plant, which we're going to get into. Combo this off your Dandelion or your Lone Fire, and you can instantly have, instantly have a level 6 Synchro. You know, bring out the Brionic, the Goyo, bring out the Iron Chain Dragon. Copyplant can do a lot of things. All right, next what we have is we've got a couple copies of Raikou, Lightsworn Hunter. This is still here for your field clearing. This is here to drop some stuff in your graveyard. This could help you mill some plants. This could help you mill the Dandelion specifically, get those tokens. And it's a level 2 you can grab off of Junk Synchron. Next, of course, we have our 2 copies of Dandelion. Absolutely self-explanatory because it's Dandelion. One of the most important cards in this deck. Every time it hits the graveyard, you're getting 2 fluff tokens. You use that for your synchros, you use that for your control tactics. Fluff tokens are what makes this deck go round. Next, of course, you've got your 2 copies of Lone Fire Blossom. Use this to grab any plant from your deck. Put the plants back with Pot of Avarice. Honestly, fantastic card. You're going to be using this, bringing it back, reusing it. You're going to be using Lone Fire so much. This is the tuner or the tutor for your deck. This will grab you pretty much everything you need without question. Next, we have a couple copies of Twilight Rose Knight. This card is fantastic, especially early game. So monsters your opponent controls cannot attack plant-type monsters you've got. This will help protect like your Titanial or your Gigaplant in the field. When this is normal summoned, you can special summon a level 4 or lower plant-type monster from your graveyard, or from your hand, sorry. So absolutely fantastic, and it's a 1000 beater if you need to. It's a level 3 tuner. Run 2 of these, you're going to see it all the time. This will get you your level 6 and your level 7 instantly. So you'll have a Black Rose in the field, or you'll have an Iron Chain on the field, or a Brionic really fast. We still run 1 copy of Junk Synchron. We can use that to grab Gigaplant, or not Gigaplant, we use it to grab Copy Plant, use it to grab Raikou. It's still good to cheese out a level 5 Synchro, or even a level 1 or level 4 Synchro if you want to grab out Armory Arm. So I was originally going to try to run 3 copies of Twilight Rose Knight. I'm like, you know what? Take out the 3rd copy, put in the 1 copy of Junk Synchron. It's going to do wonders for you. Here, of course, we are still running 1 copy of Sangan because that will grab us most monsters in the deck. I mean, I think, honestly, everything we've shown so far, yeah, it's going to grab it. Sangan will grab almost every single monster in this deck. So, quite honestly, it's something you want to have. Remember, it has to be 1,500 attack points or less. I think it quite literally fails to grab only 4 out of our 22 monsters. So running the copy of Sangan is an absolute must. Next, we have a really cool card, and actually my only ulti in the deck, Ultimate Rare, Rose, Warrior of Revenge. She's a level 4 tuner. She's a warrior, so you can grab her with Reinforcement of the Army. Plus, she's a 16 beater if necessary, which is absolutely fantastic. And if she inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you inflict 300 points of damage. So she can cheese out some extra damage for you. It's honestly incredible. And she was a $3 ulti for me, so I'm like, I'm grabbing that. That's just happening. Next, we have a couple copies of Debris Dragon, as usual. Use this to grab a lot of things from the graveyard. You're going to be grabbing your Lone Fire, grab your Dandelion, grab your Raikou. This will bring out a level 6. This will bring out a level 7. Using the fluff tokens, you can bring out a level 8. So you can grab just about every single dragon in your deck with this card with fairly amount of ease. So we got to run 2 copies of Debris Dragon. We're honestly silly if we don't. Next, we have a couple copies of a new card, Lord Poison. This came out in Pharaoh's Servant, so it's a very old card, like from the original Yu-Gi-Oh! So it's a level 4 plant-type monster. When this is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon a plant-type monster from your graveyard except Lord Poison. This grabs you Dandelion, Titanial, Gigaplant, Lone Fire. Does not negate their effects, by the way. So Lord Poison, running it, I could run 3, but for the space in the deck, I am running 2 because it works really well. This card is absolutely incredible. This is something that's just a huge staple of the deck. Next, of course, we have our 3 copies of Quickdraw Synchron, because that's going to bring us out our all-important Drill Warrior, which is one of the most important cards in our extra deck. This will bring us out the Nitro Warrior. This will bring us out the Junk Archer. You could run Road Warrior in this deck, and I do own a copy. I might try it, but since I'm not really running as many machines and stuff in the deck, I don't really have level 1s or 2s to really grab from the deck at this point, so Road Warrior would be kind of moot. He'd be just a 3,000 beater that I can bring out in another card. And these are newly ultra rare ones, too. I'm working on getting this deck as rarityed out as possible. Next, really important card. This is going to be a centerpiece of the strategy, Gigaplant. Now, Gigaplant is what's known as a Gemini-type monster, a really interesting type of monster that when you summon it on the field, or when it's in your hand or in the graveyard, it's considered a normal monster. So this would allow you to activate different normal-type effects, things that affect normal-type monsters, while still being able to have an effect monster out of it. You have to summon it twice, essentially. So let's say we have this on the field, I have to normal summon it another time to be able to get its effect. So it can be annoying, but there's several ways around having to literally tribute summon it and then normal summon it again. Using the Supervised card, using Lord Poison, using Lone Fire. There are plenty of ways to get him on the field and then only normal summon him once. And he's a monster reborn for insect and plant type monsters. So once per turn, any any insect or plant monster once per turn from the graveyard or hand. So this guy is, like I said, he's the centerpiece of a lot of this deck strategy because he's able to Monster Reborn and special summon any plant type monster we need that we already have in the hand or in the graveyard. Last but not least, we have our Titanial Princess of Camellias. This is the Crossroads of Chaos Ultimate Rare. I saw it for like $1.75, so I grabbed it. You contribute any plant type monster on the field, your side of the field, to negate the activation of a spell, trap, or monster effect that targets a card or cards on the field and destroy it. So we're still running one copy of her. We could run two if we had to. The deck would still work with two because of the Gigaplant and the Lone Fire, but I still have one copy because we are trying to fit everything we need in the deck. I was running two until I realized, oh, I don't have room for the Gigaplant, or the Copy Plant, and I need the copy of Gigaplant, or Copy Plant. I keep wanting to say Gigaplant. And hi there, Kiva, you're right, we're doing Dandyplant. So honestly, this monster setup is pretty fantastic. Copy Plant is going to be huge. The plant engine in this deck, I do wish we had Glow Up Bulb in this format. That would be fantastic. Glow Up Bulb, once per duel, you can mill the top card of your deck and special summon it from the graveyard. That's an instant level 1 plant tuner right there. Just keep bringing it back with Gigaplant. The Tengu plant format in 2011, that really was an incredible time for plants. I believe also Black Rose Dragon was not limited. Let me actually check. Because I'm actually interested. This is a format I really wanted to play because this was technically when I was coming into it, the 2011. This was like the start of Xyz. This was the end of 5D, so Dino Rabbit was a thing. Dino Rabbit was fun. I actually played that back in the day. Check out the Synchro Plant. Okay, so it looks like Black Rose was not limited. And it also had us access to Scrap Dragon and... Scrap Dragon and TG Hyper Librarian, along with Wind Up Zenmains. Honestly, this format looks pretty friggin' incredible. But Dandelion and Lone Fire was at 1, but it did give us BLS and Effect Veiler. So you could make a fantastic deck list for Synchro Plant, because we also had Spore. Debris Dragon was at 1. This would be a format I would really like to try. I would make a special deck just for it. But we're trying to get people interested. All right, so let's move on to the extra deck then for monsters. Stayed pretty much the same. We have our Armory Arm. We've got our Ally Justice Catastor. Finally do have my Magical Android. She's new to the deck. During your end phase, you gain 600 life points for every Psychic-type monster you control. Face up, of course. Life points were incredibly important in Edison format. And even just 600 extra a turn, that was a huge boost. Got our Brionic. Still 2 copies of Drill Warrior. Our copy of Goyo. Iron Chain Dragon. Black Rose Dragon becomes one of the most important synchros in this deck, I think. Because now you can still use her to A-bomb the field, which is incredibly important. Or you can straight up use her to do the banishing effect for plants, and then flip any card face up. Make its attack 0 for the turn. You can combo that even with the Nitro Synchron ability. We are running the Junk Archer. Once per turn, banish a monster in the field. We've added Colossal Fighter. So it gains 100 attack points for each warrior monster in either player's graveyard. That's not really the effect I'm going for here. But if this is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon a warrior-type monster from either player's graveyard. That includes Colossal Fighter. So he can Monster Reborn himself almost every time he's destroyed by battle. We've got our Red Dragon Archfiend, of course our Stardust Dragon, and our Thought Ruler Archfiend. So, extra deck, pretty much the same, except for the Colossal Fighter and the Magical Android. Absolutely fantastic cards. Really would be excited to see what I could do with this deck for Tengu Plant format. There's a lot of interesting things I could do. I would also like to see if the entire wind-up deck is available in Tengu Plant, because that's a deck I have wanted for years. I absolutely love wind-ups. All right, let's move on to our spells. We're still running our Cold Wave. That's still a fantastic spell to have. We've still got our Foolish Burial. That's really important. Running our Giant Trunade. We're running our Heavy Storm. Oh, new combo we can do with the Foolish Burial because of Gigaplant. We can even send the Titanial with Foolish Burial and immediately special summon it back with Gigaplant. That is actually a strategy I pulled off my last locals, where I summoned the Gigaplant and I tributed the Titanial to stop an effect and summoned Titanial back with Gigaplant. We've added Monster Reincarnation. Discard a card to add a card back to your hand from the graveyard. Obviously, if it's an extra deck card, it's going to go back to the extra deck. This will get you back your Black Rose Dragon, because you can run only one of them. This will put back important tuners and things in your hand. This is honestly an absolutely broken card, especially in here when you want some things in the graveyard. Hell, ditch a Dandelion with this card. Get maybe the Debris Dragon back. Get 2 tokens. Summon back the Dandelion you just pitched with Debris Dragon that you just got back, and then go for 7 or 8. Of course, we have our Pot of Avarice, an absolutely important card in this format. Return 5 to the deck, draw 2. We've got a copy of Reinforcement of the Army. This is going to be the tutor that gets us Junk Synchron, gets us Rose Warrior Lady of Revenge, or Warrior Lady. This gets us our Twilight Rose Knight. So you're only allowed to run one of these in the deck anyway. So honestly, running one of them is just a great idea. We do have one copy of Mark of the Rose. So banish a plant-type monster from your graveyard and equip this to an opponent's monster. During your turn, you control that monster. During the opponent's turn, they control that monster. An incredibly powerful card. Now, yeah, they get it back every turn, and you got to banish a plant for it, but there honestly is a lot of strategy you can do with this card. It's fantastic. Next, we have Supervise. This card is in here for our Gigaplant. You can equip it to a Gemini monster. It becomes an effect monster and gains its effects. If this face-up card is sent to the from the field to the graveyard, target one normal-type monster in your graveyard, special summon it. So this will special summon back the Gigaplant that just got destroyed. And last but not least, we have an enemy controller. It's a quick play that either targets a face-up monster your opponent controls, switches its battle position, or you contribute a monster and take control of a face-up monster your opponent controls to the end phase. You can spam this off your tokens. You can spam this off a plant-type monster and then summon it right back with Gigaplant. Enemy controller in this build is absolutely broken, and I am going to use the hell out of it. Next, we're going to move on to our traps. We've still got our 2 copies of Bottomless Trap Hole. We've got our Call of the Haunted. Remember, it is a valid strategy if someone targets your Call of the Haunted for destruction. Flip it up, summon a Dandelion, let it be destroyed, get 2 fluff tokens. We, of course, have our Solemn Judgment, our Omni Negate. We've got our Starlight Road. We've still got our Trap Dust Shoot. Now, 2 new cards we've added. 2 copies of Polynosis. This is a counter trap that we can use when a monster would be normal or special summoned, or a spell or trap card is activated. Tribute a plant type monster, negate the activation, and destroy it. So, absolutely incredible card. I run 2 of these in here. You can, as I said, same thing with enemy controller. Summon back whatever plant you just tributed with Gigaplant, or even tribute the fluff tokens. Polynosis is going to be a massive stop card. So this deck does have, between the Solemn Judgment, the Starlight Road, the Polynosis, the Stardust Dragon, and the, excuse me, and the Titanial. This deck does have good control options. So this, when played right, this deck can be very difficult to get around, and that is my intention. I'm not here to be nice. I'm here to take life points and names. And I'm all out of names. So honestly, it's pretty incredible. I'm loving this build. I like what it can do. Plant-type monsters I've always found pretty cool. For the side deck, we're still looking at pretty much the universal side deck with the 2 DD Crow, the 2 Cyber Dragon, the Gores, the Chimera Tech, the Desynchro, System Down, Mind Control is new. I switched out Brain Control for Mind Control because I put in the enemy controller. Still got a couple Prohibitions, got our Blast, our Deep Prison, our Mirror Force, and our Torrential Tribute. So except for the Mind Control instead of Brain Control, it's the same universal side deck you saw in my other video. It works absolutely well for this deck. I love it. Now, cards that we could add with this deck. There's a few cards. So I try to flip. Obviously, we can always use Ancient Fairy Dragon. Even if we don't have field spells in this deck, can always use Turbo Warrior. Always use the Mist Worm. Don't have a lot of room to turn. A Stardust Dragon Assault Mode is a card I considered, as well as running the second Titanial. I took out the Quill Bolts, but honestly, we're good without them. And we could, in this deck, because we're running the Gigaplant, we could have Blazewing Butterfly. You can tribute this card to special summon a Gemini monster from the graveyard, except Blazewing, and it gets its effects. There are plenty of cards we could be running. Could still be running the Tunyware, still be running the Tragodia. We could be running Miracle Fertilizer, second Supervise, second Mark, Mystical. There's a lot of cards. This, by the way, this is my Edison binder. This is not for trade. These are cards that I collect, so I can use them in any decks I have for Edison. Things that I don't want to trade, but I may not be using right now, but I can use later. I know it's a magic binder. It's fine. It's the empty binder I had. So there's other cards we could use quite well. But I think this build is going to work out great. I like how this build is working. I like the combos you can pull off. I like the different control options we have. There's a reason that there's a lock on this deck box for the control aspect. Honestly, it's a fantastic deck. The plant engine was really strong in Edison. Crossroads of Chaos itself, just so many good things to use. Lord Poison finally getting a spotlight. And even though Tengu Plant made it even better because it had access to Spore, it had access to Glow Up Bulb, it had access to so many other things, this still was an absolutely fantastic engine that could do so much. So quite honestly, still my favorite deck in Edison. This is probably my favorite build that I have done of Quickdraw. And I cannot wait to go to locals this week and really see how it runs. So that's all I got for you right now. Today's video was brought to you by Exxon Mobil Rewards. Sign up for the Exxon Mobil Rewards card at your local Exxon station. Earn points as you make purchases, and redeem those points up to $50 worth of points to get money off your order. I have actually personally seen a woman spend $5,000 of the points she had saved up. She got $50 in gas for free because of her points. So it's completely free to sign up, the Exxon Mobil Rewards. You can download the app or visit your local Exxon gas station to pick up the Exxon Rewards card. Just have the cashier scan it upon checkout, and you will start earning those points. Every 100 points is $1, and once you reach 100 points, you can start getting money off. Exxon Mobil Rewards. Sign up today, absolutely free. If you visit Exxon stations a lot, this will save you a lot of money in the long run. It has personally saved me probably a good amount of money. I don't know how much money, but it's been a lot of money. So at this point, do it. It's fun. So this is all I got for you today because I have to get ready for work. I hope you guys enjoyed the profile. I am still working on more decks. I am trying to figure out more things. We're going to bring out more Game Boy Advance playthroughs. You know, start working on that again. Get out Pokemon Emerald. Get out GX Duel Academy. And we're going to get you more PS4. Remember that we do have a Cash App at Winter Spell. 3 L's, all lowercase. Feel free to donate. Any donations goes towards obtaining new items for the channel, whether it be equipment, games, or cards, and goes to improving the channel as a whole. It also goes to buying more simulators and better software in order to get out the streams for you. So remember, Winter Spell, all lowercase, 3 L's. Feel free. Any donations appreciated, and any people comfortable will get a shout out on the next stream after donation. Until next time, this has been your Wintry Neighborhood Winter Spell, reminding you guys to stay frosty, and I will see you in the next video.